Welcome to The Fashion Department, a podcast that will explore the world of fashion and how it informs all aspects of life, from dress and lifestyle to food and travel. And now, let me introduce you to your fabulous host, Tina Bercoli, a Greenwich, Connecticut-based wardrobe stylist and radio show personality with over 20 years in the fashion industry. Tina will share her take on style, trends, the business of fashion, and on being grateful. And now, here's your host.
Welcome to the Fashion Department. I'm so excited. I have a great show for you today. I have an in-studio guest, which always makes me happy. And we've got a fantastic show. So let's dive right in. As many of you know, I love a good bargain. We combine that with my love of a good hunt. We combine that with my love of fashion. And that brings me to thrift and vintage shopping. To me, some of the things I love, people ask me like, oh my gosh, why do you love rummaging through, old stuff? And I'm like, well, think about that. There are hidden treasures. There are so many fun things to find. Some of the benefits I think are, first of all, you're supporting a local community. It's recycling, so you're being green. You're sort of curating like your own unique wardrobe. I mean, think about it. You're finding usually one-of-a-kind pieces. And even if it's not, it's unlikely that someone else is going to have the same thing at a party or at work the next day. You can find high-quality pieces at a fraction of their original price. And if you're shopping local, you are supporting a small business. And if you're shopping at this local store called Thrift, you're supporting women-owned business, which leads me to my first guest, fabulous guest. We have Angela from the store called Thrift right here in Norwalk, Connecticut. Welcome to the Fashion Department, Angela.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
So excited, I know. So let's get right into this. So Thrift is the name of your store, and I had heard about your store and kind of put it in mental note, and me being the busy little bee that I am, forgot. However, karma or the universe, whatever you want to call it, led me down. I literally took a wrong turn recently in Norwalk. Was like, where am I? And I drove by your store, and
yes.
I like almost slammed on the brakes. I was like, what is that? And then I thought, oh my gosh, that rings a bell. So I was remembering when someone had told me months ago about a new store called Thrift. So I pulled over and I came walking in and I checked out your fantastic boutique. And
Thank you.
I absolutely love it. So tell us a little bit about Thrift. It's vintage, it's resale, it's upcycling right here in Norwalk. By the way, it's 5 River Street. And I want to give out the Instagram handle while we're chatting so people can listen and look it up. It is Thrift, Connecticut,
yes,
correct?
Spelt out, yes.
Spelt out, Thrift, Connecticut. So tell us a little bit about this fabulous store and how did it kind of all come to be?
Okay, so my sisters and I, there's 4 of us together. We have always been into fashion. We always are selling stuff. Even from like years ago, my sisters had a flea market. I don't know if anybody remembers, next to Tower Records down in Soho. There used to be a flea market. They started doing that when my sister was in college at NYU.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah, so they go back further than me and my sister Liz, just because they're older. But that's like, we have like selling in our blood. My dad, he had push carts, and so like we're vendors at heart. So they started doing that just to make extra cash, and like it was fun. So they sold like iron-on T-shirts and anything vintage, like vintage glasses. They had like strawberry shortcake stuff, anything like halter tops, cool stuff that was in and trendy then. So then we dibble-dabbled in other things. We had like stationery. We sold stationery. And then basically like we all had kids and we were like, all right, what are we going to do? And we always like come back together and we're like, let's try this, let's try that. And after the pandemic, we all sold on like online platforms like Poshmark or Mercari.
Right.
And I said to them, like, why are we having this stuff just sit here? Like we could probably open a store with all the stuff we have. Like we have so much inventory between the 4 of us because we have like 14 kids in between us.
Right.
So it was like we had this stuff. It wasn't like even we had to invest. We had so much stuff just because we were selling on different platforms. And they were like, well, let's do it. So then we were like, really? Are we going to do it? And then finally we were like, yeah. And we found a location in Norwalk. I actually lived in Norwalk. I just moved. But it was like convenient for everybody. And it's kind of like up and coming down in this Wall Street area. So we were like, let's try it. It's kind of artsy. And let's see what happens. Because I feel like social media and advertising is like big. So with thrifters anyway. So like people will travel to find you if they're really looking for like a steal or, something interesting or vintage, they will travel. So so we decided like, let's do it. So we came together and here we are.
And so you're 4 sisters together. 3 of you are somewhat local, correct? And 1 of you lives out of state, right?
Correct. My sister Nicole moved to Texas a few years ago with her husband and her kids, and it's been like a lot because, we've been so together all these years, and like it's nice we go on vacation there. And in Texas, thrifting is a whole different thing than the East Coast.
Yes.
Like she was like, I cannot believe what's going on here. Like, you have to get here because it's just like on a different level. Like, you could find amazing stuff for like 25 cents.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole different ballgame. So she does a lot of sourcing for us and making stuff. Like, we're going to drop some new stuff on Black Friday because she's like artsy and she likes to like create stuff. So that's exciting. But, East Coast and West Coast thrifting are kind of different.
Very different.
We've learned.
Very different.
And, in the middle of the country. And it's so popular right now.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's jump on it and see because everybody's looking for a deal and saving the planet. Everyone wants to save the planet.
Right.
And, people donate stuff to us, which we were so appreciative of. We don't even realize that how many people come in and like, can we donate to you? And we're like, of course. And then we give like a 20% coupon for their purchase, which is amazing. But you don't believe the stuff that people get rid of. It's amazing stuff.
I'm sure.
And especially Fairfield County. It's like...
Right.
But again, it's like your kids wear it once or they don't wear it. And a lot of people don't realize like secondhand doesn't mean it's used.
Right.
Like how many people go to the store and like don't ever wear it. It still has tags on it and then you give it away.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff you could find in our store actually has tags on it. Just because people give stuff away or we buy secondhand or we buy liquidation. So, I know a lot of people that get turned off sometimes with thrift, but you'll find amazing stuff that you can't find anywhere else. So it's worth coming and checking us out.
Okay, so I want to get into a few things that you mentioned. First of all, let's talk about the difference because I know I'm with you on get it that it's very different on the East Coast, West Coast, and in between. I have a very dear friend of mine that works in the fashion industry that lives in Dallas, Texas, and we talk all the time about this. I also am a big thrifter and love vintage shopping. It's one of my favorite things to do, in spare time. But I personally love it more on the West Coast.
Okay.
The LA area, I think because of the entertainment industry, there's so much more. And people are it's a different mindset. It's a different vibe. Yes. Obviously, it's different weather. So you will get things that you will not find here on the East Coast. Not to take anything away from the East Coast. Yes. I love it too. It's just different.
Totally. Yes.
So,
and state to state too.
And state to state, for sure. That being said, I want to touch base on something you mentioned about, some people getting turned off. So let's first of all talk about, because I don't know if everybody knows the difference between thrifting and vintage.
Okay.
So I was told this by a dear friend of mine who owned a vintage store a few years back. And she said to me that technically the definition of vintage clothing is something 20 years old.
Correct.
Okay, good. So you've confirmed.
Yes, 20 years older.
Which seems a little silly because that means basically 3/4 of my closet is vintage.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, it's funny because now vintage is 90s, and when I used to go thrifting with my sisters, it was 70s.
Right.
Like we were looking for bell bottoms,
right.
And now it's a total, like people want what we wore. Like I wore in high, so it's crazy.
How good or bad do you feel? Because I know I have my own when you walk into a store and you're like, yeah, I wore this the first time around.
I feel so bad because I'm like, I wish I had that for my kids right now because I could just imagine what my mother spent on it.
Right.
And then it's like, oh my God, I totally had that. And I forgot I had that, but I owned it.
I don't feel bad. I mean, I definitely start to feel old, especially when the cute little 20-something sales girl comes up to me and is like, have you ever tried neon? And I'm like, honey, let's talk Madonna.
You weren't born when I was wearing neon,
with the rubber bracelets on my arms, Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, and I laugh and I chuckle. However, I do wear it. And I thought, you know what? It's my challenge as a stylist to make it current.
Yes.
And the second time around, I'm wearing it more age appropriate. Obviously, I'm not wearing it like I wore it in the 80s.
Right.
But now, if I wear a bright color and neon, I'm going to pair it back with a neutral. So I'm going to wear bright. I was just in a store today, as a matter of fact, looking at a neon pink. It's funny you're wearing pink. turtleneck. And I said, oh, I would wear this with a camel overcoat over this. A sophisticated look.
Right,
It's still fun. It's color, or I'd pair it back with like cream. I'd pair it with a neutral. I wouldn't pair it with I wouldn't do head to toe pink. I know that's a trend right now. Great, but not for me.
Right, exactly.
It's like, and again, I wore it the first time around like that. So, so difference between vintage and thrift. Thrift is stuff that people donate or give to you.
Yeah,
correct?
and you're getting a deal, kind of. Like, it's kind of like more fast fashion, I would say. They use the term now. Yeah, it's like, something you might need to wear, I don't know, tomorrow or, to work or something. Where vintage is like you're looking for a special piece that's a little bit more special.
Right.
It's called dead stock. Like, you're never going to find it. They don't make it the same way. It's some of it's handmade. So... one of a kind is vintage.
One of a kind. Yeah. And I want to say this too. Vintage can be, because I think it's another kind of misconception. Vintage could be something that's $5. Vintage could be something that's $5,000. It doesn't always mean designer.
Correct.
I mean, it's vintage.
Yes.
It could be one of a kind, but it could be something that there were dozens of back in 1965. It was mass produced, but it's not anymore.
Correct.
So
and you can't find it.
Right. And you can't find it. It's special. It's one of a kind. Or it could be an Oscar de la Renta piece that's couture and it's designer vintage.
Correct.
So there's different, which I feel like there's also obviously different types of stores that, maybe some have more of one type or another. Some stores I shop at are just designer vintage.
Right.
And I know the price point's going to be different.
Right.
I know, okay, I'm going to get like maybe one or two special pieces versus when I'm going to just a normal thrift store that's going to have different price points. I know I could walk out of there with handfuls of stuff.
Right, exactly.
So,
yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, so I think it's important that people know vintage and thrift, and it's all good. It's just a matter of what you're looking at.
Correct.
And I like that you said thrifting, like there's a lot of stuff has tags on it or maybe is lightly used or you couldn't even tell that it's worn.
Yeah.
I think of the stuff I get rid of. Most of my stuff, of course, I resell. But this is my job. This is what I do.
Right.
So of course I'm going to be conscious of it. I resell. A lot of my stuff I know is not really worth much or it's not worth the hassle to take to the store.
Right.
I will just donate.
Right.
So I think that's important. So tell us I want to hear a little bit about now I came in the store, I did a quick run through and I was like, yep, good, check. I need to come back and really look again.
You.
I was in a rush that day. But I want to hear more about what's in the store. Okay. Men's and women's, right?
Yes, men's, women's, we have children's. Yes.
Children's,
yes.
Okay. Clothing,
we have anywhere from t-shirts to jean jackets, winter coats right now are really big, boots, shoes. We have like tchotchkes and housewares and glassware.
Jewelry.
We have jewelry,
Yep.
yes. We have a little bit of everything.
I love it.
Yes.
I feel like, so your store is definitely a boutique. And I felt like you had a lot in there, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. It definitely was packed with really good stuff. And I feel like I really needed to sift through. I didn't have time that day. But I felt like that's the best kind of store there is, like especially vintage or thrift, like the kind you want to kind of pillage through because I'm sure there's like so many hidden treasures there.
Yeah, there are. Yeah. If you have time, a lot of people come like, I don't have time, I'm coming back, and they do. Because you want to take time to really look and see if you could really score something nice or, a great deal. But we have a ton of stuff. Like, we wish we were bigger just because we would like to expand some stuff, but we have something for everybody.
Yeah.
We really do.
I did notice that at first scan. I was like, because I saw men's, I saw women, I saw housewares. So that's
we have
great.
every age group. You'd be like moms come in with their sons. It's so nice to see young kids come in as a group, older people, and people are like, oh my God, we love shopping down here. It reminds us when we were little and we shopped with our parents because of where we're located. I mean, definitely every age group we have something for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I love it. So maybe expanding. I mean, you guys just opened. You're open how long?
We just opened. We opened in May, so.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Is it 6 months?
Yeah.
May? Yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like you're on track for
Thank you.
lots
We're
of things.
excited. We're excited. We're trying.
Yeah. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about in-store, some holiday gift ideas. I want to give the listeners some things. We're talking about this as the holiday season is approaching. And what are some of your favorite gift ideas for men, women, whoever?
Yeah, so I'm a big baker, so I always I like to find a cute tray. So we have awesome trays or bowls. You could, put your homemade cookies in there, wrap it up, and then
Yeah.
you leave the platter or the cookie sheet with the, with your friend that you went to visit or whatever. There's always something. I really am into like cute little tchotchkes too.
Okay.
Find something unique that like represents the person you're going to see or give the gift to. Jewelry. I love to give something that is going to fit someone.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's a big thing, like a scarf.
Yeah.
Or jewelry or ring, like.
And by fit, you mean not just like fit their personality, like suit them,
Yeah,
right?
suit them, and also like they're gonna wear it. Like
Right.
sometimes it's hard to give someone like an actual like a piece of a shirt or a pants because you don't know what their size is.
Right. Or what their style is.
Exactly, or if they're ever gonna wear it. And
Right.
there comes thrift again. A lot of people get gifts and they they never wear it, so they donate it. So
So if someone wants to donate to your store, can anyone
yeah,
donate?
anyone can donate.
Okay.
We give a 20% off coupon for your next purchase. So
Okay.
yeah, we accept all donations. We really don't accept like big furniture or anything because we just
Okay.
don't have the room. But
Right. So what exactly would you accept? So clothing?
Yes. We accept any types of clothing, shoes, housewares. We don't accept like baby car seats and stuff like that. But
Okay.
everyone knows that.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, everything. We take everything and anything.
Okay.
And we're kind of selective. Like we'll go through it. If we don't like it, we donate it to like the Women Veterans Association or
Okay.
like local schools.
That was my next question.
Yes.
Okay.
So if it's good but it's just not us, we have people we contact.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So someone can do they call? Do they make an appointment? How would they do that?
As long as you come during business hours, we just don't want anything left outside. Yeah,
Right.
a lot of people do call and we'll be like, yeah, we're happy to take it. Come, and
Okay.
we schedule an appointment, or if we're open and the lights are on, come right in. We're happy to help you.
Okay. And you guys are open 7 days a week?
We are open 7 days a week until Christmas. So check our website. It's usually 11 to 5 or 11 to 6, and
Okay.
Sundays are 12 to 5.
Okay. And the website is?
Is Thrift Connecticut at Gmail. Thrift Connecticut on all platforms, and then Thrift Connecticut at Gmail if you want to send us an email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thrift Connecticut. I would
And
advi-
our website is Thrift Connecticut as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I would just advise everybody to look at the Instagram page because you
Yes.
can probably get
Yes,
to
you
everything.
get to everything, yeah.
through
We're all linked over.
And you can see it all. You can see pictures. You can follow
Yes.
along on stories. And you guys are doing a little bit of Instagram live stuff?
We are. We just started. This is like our third. We're gonna
Love.
do our third live this week. We're so excited. It's so much fun.
It
just
is.
to like interact with people. I mean, opening the store is so much fun because like I like to talk to people, but like not even that. Like you're learning about the community,
Yep.
which is so nice. And we have like regulars and everything now, so which is fun. But like the live is like a whole different like space because like
is.
anyone could come on. We're hitting all like all
Anyone-
of America or
Anywhere. Right,
yeah, the
right,
world, which
right.
is fun and interesting. But it's nice because people are like, oh my God, can we see that jacket in the back? Can you grab that? Do you have any of this? And we'll like pull it out or whatever. But it's
So
fun.
do you guys have a set time that you do lives?
We usually do it at 8:00.
Okay.
We've been doing it on Thursdays. We did one last week just on the Monday because everyone was off on the Tuesday for the holiday.
Okay.
But Thursdays at 8:00 is usually our live time.
Okay.
And we're gonna do one the day before Thanksgiving on Wednesday, so that's gonna be a change.
Okay. So, and we'll go back to that in a minute. So, usually 8:00 Thursdays.
Correct.
Do you, and then does it repeat? Do you keep it up in
We
the
do.
highlights?
We save it.
save
and
it.
then we
Perfect.
actually had a lot of people come in and were like, we saw it, and then we liked it, so we wanted to come and try it. So that's nice too because
Okay.
local people could just stop in and see if we still have it available.
Right.
Which is nice.
And then the other thing I wanted to say was, do you kind of promote it beforehand? Like,
We do.
you remind people, hey, okay, you do.
Yes.
So all on Instagram.
Yes, all on Instagram. We'll put out a post, and sometimes I'll just jump on and just make a little video and say like, hope to see you soon. We're going to be
good.
on. Yeah.
Because I know like someone like me who I, follow a lot of people. I'm not physically on social media as often as I'd like.
Right.
I have an assistant that helps me with all the posting. However, I would want to see that and
Right.
I would completely forget. So
Yeah.
if there was a reminder or I could put it in my phone somehow,
Yeah.
I'd go, okay, Thursday.
And I think Instagram like has this new reminder.
They do.
Yeah, I
They
just
do.
tried it out. So
Yes.
I put it on one of our posts. So let's see how it goes. Yeah,
Good.
so it's nice.
They do, yeah, and they even have. I did it for the relaunch, rebrand of my website. I had a little countdown button, and then it kind of alerted people
Yeah.
that it's time. So
It's nice.
love it. It
Yes,
is really
thank you.
nice.
It's a different. It's different, but it's fun. We're loving it. So
Cool.
It's great. Thank you.
Okay, so Instagram Lives, I wanted to also circle back to, so if someone sees something,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's on a live or it's on a post, best way to, and they're not local.
Yes.
Best way to say, hey, do you have it? Is call or message?
DM is the best.
DM is
message,
the best.
or even if
Okay.
you message on the comments, one of us will get back to you, and we are happy
Okay.
to ship it.
So there's someone monitoring the
Yes,
Instagram.
yes.
Perfect. Yeah, because
It's hard, but yeah.
But that's key.
Yes.
You know, I feel like so many times brands miss the mark on that. And it's brands that are pretty well established. I feel like the small business owner are a little more attentive, maybe because it is small
yeah.
and they're, you know, but sometimes brands, like, I'll leave a comment or a question, you know, and tagging them, and I don't hear back from them for weeks. And I'm like, you know, I've passed that. I've moved on to like 17 other things that I wanted.
Yeah, I forgot about what I was talking about. Right, exactly.
You know, and I feel like that's a miss. And since nowadays everyone seems to be using Instagram as a shopping platform, it's really important for brands to have that. It's just another way to connect with your audience.
Yeah, and customer service is big. I think it's lacking in the country right now. But
Absolutely.
Growing up, like, customer service is a big thing. So, like, we want people to, you know, come back and remember us and have a nice time. You know, even if you don't buy anything, we want you to have a good experience. So it's important.
I would agree, by the way. Customer service.
Yeah.
And, you know, I chalk it up to maybe...
It's a different age now.
It's a different age. And I think that a lot of it has to do with, you know, I call it like the microwave society mindset. Like, everybody wants things instant, which sometimes that's good and sometimes that's not.
Correct,
You know?
yeah.
So you need, like, things like relationships, building a rapport. That's not instant. You've got to take the time. So I think people have to be trained to do that by their, you know, store owners or whatever it is, or managers, whatever, to understand, like, it's not always about the quick sale.
Correct.
Especially in
Yes,
retail.
yes.
It's about, for you especially, building that rapport.
Right.
I mean, you said already you've got regulars.
Yeah.
That's
it's
fantastic.
so nice. Yeah, it's so nice.
Isn't
yeah.
it?
We
And
appreciate you guys.
It becomes like such a nice community and such a good feeling. They know they're supporting you, you're supporting them. I mean, I think it's great.
100%,
And I think that is lacking from, unfortunately, a lot of...
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. It's like we shop now on our phones, right?
Correct. Yeah, and we don't even go in and see someone. Yeah, it's true. Kids don't know what that's like.
No.
Yeah.
No. And it's a shame. I mean, it's, again, good and bad. It's
Yes,
got positives,
100%,
of course,
yes.
but we, I know I miss that.
Me too.
Listen, my job wouldn't exist if I didn't physically have relationships with people.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's a luxury service I offer. I'm a stylist. I've been doing this for 20-something years. And I always say to people, you know, I don't mind online shopping, but it can't be exclusive.
Right,
We have to,
right.
that's for the things that you know, like, I need a size small in a white tee from J. Crew.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, you have to take the time to go into the stores, build a relationship with at least one person. And guess what? Then that person's going to remember you. They're going to think of you, text you.
And they're going to call you if they see something.
Something new comes in. There's a sale. Something gets marked down. They're going to go above and beyond if they have that rapport with you.
I agree.
And I mean, I've got connections all over between here in Manhattan and LA that I really try to constantly go back to. I just got a text the other day from, it's so funny, it came up on my phone, it said Sammy. And I opened up the email, and I know one person named Sammy, and this person, Sammy, no longer works for this brand anymore. So I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
So I looked at it, and it was a company phone, and the person that replaced Sammy
was saved as Sammy.
was texting me, and she gave her new name, you know, Evelyn or something. She's like, "Hi, Tina." And she was like, you know, just wanted to show you this whole range of stuff has gone on sale. If you or any of your clients need something, let me know. Well, I've never met this girl, but I know Sammy from years ago. Well, I made sure, I didn't need anything, but I made sure I responded. I said, thank you so much for thinking of me.
So
and
nice.
I wouldn't have known, you know.
Right.
And I looked through most of the stuff, and some of it was designer brands. So a lot of stuff was really good. And immediately it made me kind of go through, think of clients, think of friends, think of myself.
Right.
Like, does anybody need anything? Because that's part of my job, you know. But my point is, I now have that connection with the new girl.
Right.
So I'm happy that she reached out to me, and, you know, we can continue that rapport.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
it makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
It really does.
It does. It does. All right. So maybe we talk a little bit about some upcoming events.
Sure.
What does the store have going on for Black Friday?
Okay, we are having our first shop and sip on Black Friday from 7 to 9. We're going to have drinks, appetizers, sales, giveaways, all fun stuff. And we have some local small businesses joining us, so we're really excited. We're trying to amp up where we are in Wall Street because there's so many fabulous new places opening and we want to like really connect because I feel like that's important.
Absolutely.
So we are excited. We're going to have sales. We're going to have an amazing Black Friday sale. We're actually dropping some new merchandise too. So make sure you come by and then come out at night and bring your friends and come have a drink from 7 to 9 and we're going to have a shop and sip.
Nice.
Yeah, we're excited.
And so what any like fall favorites right now that are in the store right now that you're loving that people need to see?
I love sweaters. Like, I don't know why, but I love fall sweaters that are amazing.
You like the sweater weather?
Yeah, I like the sweater weather, even though, I'm working and then I get a little hot, so I got to take it off. But yeah, so we have amazing sweaters. We have like vintage. We have some amazing vintage sweaters, which are technically vintage because it's more than 20 years. And just we have amazing boots as well. Women's, men's boots. We have a lot of boots in stock. Yeah, and coats. Like, we have fabulous coats and jackets. Like, if you need something to throw on, over, like you were saying, pair something, a neutral. We have that. Like, if you need to add a little flair or, pizzazz, you're going somewhere, just throw on a jacket. I feel like it makes the outfit. We have amazing stuff. Yeah, definitely come in and check it out.
Okay, so sweaters and boots.
Yeah.
Now, my question I just thought of something about sweaters. Maybe not so much boots, but sweaters. So you said vintage sweaters. So do you think is there a big difference in the sizing of vintage sweaters versus
There is.
There is?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know
it ranges too. Like, if you get like a classic LL Bean, you're good. But if you get like a cashmere, I would say more than 20 years old. Like, we have some amazing pieces, and they're like small is us baby small.
Yes.
Like, even the dresses, a lot of vintage dresses we have from like the 70s and 80s, the waist
is teeny.
Is so teeny.
I know.
So keep that in mind. Like,
okay.
Yeah, so definitely the sizing is different unless it's like an oversized sweater.
Right.
But definitely.
Yeah, it's something that I'm definitely aware of, and I think not a lot of people are. And it's hard to gauge when you see it, even if it's in a video, if it's online pictures.
Exactly.
It's so hard to see. I'm sure you guys would give like measurements or something.
Definitely. And even like our 80 sweaters, they're oversized, so those go bigger.
Right.
So like think about the era, kind of, and what style you're going for. But we're happy to give like a video or an extra picture. I've done that.
Right.
Measurements.
Or just try it on. I always feel like
I do try the stuff on and the live. If it fits me, I do try it on. If it doesn't fit me, I will be honest. I will even like put it on halfway if like just
and
that
that way you can say I'm a size blah blah blah, and here's how it fits me.
Right.
Yeah, I would do that too, and I like when people do that and they'll say, I'm a true medium, and so or a size 26 pant, and so here's how, and I'm 5'3" or whatever, and here's how it fits me.
Yeah.
That immediately gives me a good gauge on if something would fit me or would work for me. I'm the girl that always says. When I go into a store, what size is the mannequin wearing?
Yeah.
Because even though the mannequins are much taller than I am, I'm vertically challenged.
Yeah, me too.
I know, and sometimes they're bigger built, but I know what my proportions are versus theirs.
Right.
Like, I can gauge it better.
Yes.
I also know that they pin stuff on mannequins and stuff. So I once upon a time worked in visual merchandising. I know all the tricks, but I still can get a good gauge. If it's something that's not pinned and they tell me like, oh, that's a small, I know how it's going to fit me.
Right.
And if I need to size up or down. So yeah, I wanted to mention that vintage things are tiny. There was just different measurements, and a lot of vintage stuff, obviously not knitwear, but a lot of vintage clothing does not have stretch in it.
No,
no spandex.
No, not at all. And spandex will like disintegrate. So if it's much older, like check the waistband.
Right.
And always check the soles of shoes too, like bend them because they will rot.
Oh, that's
it's called dry rot.
Oh.
Yes. So if like
okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about this.
Like it's called dry rot. So if you bend the bottom of the sole, if it's bendable, it's good. If it's not, you don't want to pick it up. Oh. Yeah. So there's some like tips and tricks.
Shoes.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, they get dried out.
Okay.
Yes.
What about things like handbags? Do they get dried out too, like the inside?
They do. You know what? Patent leather.
Yes.
Patent leather sticks.
Oh, it would crack too,
yes,
right?
And it sticks. So like if you have something patent leather and you want to keep it nice, I'd put it like in maybe cotton because you don't want it to hit something else.
Right.
It will come right off. The older it gets, the stickier it gets.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
And what about leather? Let's say either a leather jacket or a leather handbag or even leather boots. Does leather, because if it's not conditioned, does it crack? Does it fade?
It does. It does fade, yes. Keep anything out of the sun. That's a really big one. And, they have great conditioners now you could buy. Like even like at CVS, you could buy something. Rub it in, you know. They have so many tips on, YouTube and everything.
That's
you could,
true.
I mean, suede, like a lot of people like burn suede now to take it off so it's smoother.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know about this one.
Yeah.
They burn suede.
Yeah, is that what it's? Yeah, suede boots. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like they get like rubbed, and they take like.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. I would.
There's
be
a lot of
afraid
things
I
out
would-
there. Me too. I would
I'd be
never
afraid
do
I
it.
would,
I'm
like,
scared. Yeah,
I'd set
but
myself
there's
on
so many
fire.
tricks out there that you could find to like reuse.
DIY.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. So I want to touch on that too because we mentioned this earlier in the episode. Upcycling.
Yes.
So
upcycling is big.
yes, very big. So tell us about that. Do you have experience with it? Do you do it?
I've made like stuff for my kids, just like fun. But my sister is actually upcycling a lot of flannels for us right now, so that's what's going to be coming in. So we're excited about that. But upcycling is very popular. A lot of people look for fabric, vintage fabric,
Right.
Which is amazing, and like knits, like old like blankets.
Yeah.
That's pretty hot right now. Yeah, so anything you make from something else is upcycling.
Right.
Could be anything.
Right.
A purse. A lot of people make like purses.
Right.
Jackets are really big just because they're easier.
Yep.
But anything. you know.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah, I'm
really
glad-
good about style too. You can make yourself something and no one has it.
Right.
You know.
I'm glad
Unique.
you mentioned that it's exactly what it is because some people are like, what is that?
Yeah.
You don't have to do much with it.
No.
You just have to tweak something into, something else.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be a lot. It could be as simple as buying a vintage flannel shirt and putting crystals on the collar or stoning the collar.
Bedazzling it.
Bedazzling it,
Yeah.
right.
Or taking, a strap from a purse and adding it to your pair of jeans or something.
Right, right. I mean, one of my favorite things to do, because I am not a designer, and I'm not a seamstress. However, I can do a basic stitch.
Mm-hmm.
I often will take stuff to my tailor and say, like, can you do this? But easy peasy stuff for me is like cutting off sleeves. So if it's like a concert t-shirt
Yep.
or even a flannel, cut off the sleeves and then I'll add something different.
Yes.
So I'll either add a different sleeve to it or add like embellishment to the sleeves,
Yep.
tassels I've done. One of my favorite things to do is just really easy, no sewing required, is like a vintage blazer and add a bunch of vintage brooches.
Yes.
Like a ton.
Yes, or patches. Patches are
Patches,
big. Yeah.
so easy. So
Yeah.
that's upcycling.
Yes,
Obviously, you
upcycling,
can
yeah.
get as creative as you want and more intricate as you want. But so you guys are working on that, and
That's coming, yeah.
Coming?
Exciting, yeah.
So-
watch out.
okay. So it's going to be flannels.
Yes,
Okay.
flannels.
Do you want to tell us any more about it?
Well, you can check our stories
Okay, good.
and our
I like
posts.
it. Okay,
It's coming. It's
little
coming.
teaser there.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, I will be checking for sure. All right, so
Thank
we're almost out of time, but I want to play a little game with you.
okay.
All right,
Nervous.
it's easy peasy. Don't be nervous. It's called rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, I'm just going to give you an either or, and you're going to quickly whatever comes to mind first. You're going to say. All right. So it's very easy. No wrong
I'm
answers.
saying either or.
No, you're saying.
Okay, which one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Sorry.
That's okay. So, or you're just answering with your question, or with your answer, rather. Sorry. So, first one, this is easy. Favorite item in the store? Go.
Favorite item in the store would be probably the rings right now.
Okay, rings. Best gift item in the store? Go.
Oh my God, it's hard. Gift, a scarf.
Okay, good. I like it. It's rapid. Fall or spring?
Fall.
Love it. Must have in your fall wardrobe? One
A
must.
nice blazer.
Oh, agree. Okay, favorite decade for clothing?
I want to go with 80s just because
Yeah.
that's when I was born.
Yeah.
It's a little fun.
Okay. Christmas cookies or eggnog?
Christmas cookies.
Love it. Love it. You're a gal after my own heart. Favorite gift you've ever received?
Oh my gosh. I would say my children.
I knew you were going to say that.
My baby came the day before my birthday, one of them. So
That's a gift.
good
Okay.
gift. And
Okay.
one day before Mother's Day.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so
really
I got good gifts,
Okay,
yeah.
you did get good gifts. Fair enough. Cowboy boots or over-the-knee boots?
Cowboy.
Love it. Denim or corduroy?
Denim.
Black or navy?
Black.
Maxi or mini dress?
Maxi.
Love it. Pink or red?
It's hard because I love Russian red and I love MAC lipstick. And
I
I
was
love
just gonna say-
pink. And I love pink, but that's a tie.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, fair enough. I was just going to say, by the way, she just said Russian red. For those of you that don't know, that's a color in MAC lipstick, MAC Cosmetics.
I said to my girls I should have a red sweater on so I could wear Russian red because it's like all of us sisters. If you ever look, we all always have red on.
I love it.
But I have pink on today. Sorry.
okay.
Sorry. And I was
No,
like, it's not It's not really winter, but I'm going to wear pink.
No, but it's a trend. It's a trend. Leather or fur?
Fur.
Champagne or beer?
Neither. I don't really like either.
Fair enough. And pumpkin or apple pie?
Apple pie.
All right. Wow, a lot of the same answers. All right, Miss Angela.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you so much for joining us.
So much fun.
here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, and you have to come back, and let's give out your information one more time. Your Instagram handle is Thrift,
Connecticut.
Thrift, Connecticut.
And then our website is thriftct.
thriftct.com.
Yes.
And what about TikTok
Great.
and all
I
that?
think
TikTok
that's
and
pretty
are
good.
all the same. Thrift
I would
Connecticut
just do a
spelled
few
out.
of those, like just so
Fantastic.
we have
Thank
some
you.
a couple
Thank
to work
you.
with.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that sounds good though.
Okay, I'll do another.
Cool. You can go whenever.
Okay. Thanks for joining me in the fashion department. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. For more inspiration and fashion content, check out my website and follow along on Instagram at wardrobe_envy. And a special thanks to the Factory Underground Studio for recording and producing this show. See you next time.